and welcome to another episode of Peaked. Don't be a salty bitch. This is my co-host JP Noto. What's up?
What's good, guys?
Excited to be here for another fun episode. Get my guest very stoned. Today's guest, a good friend of mine, the very funny Josh Potter.
What up? Came to get high.
Hell yeah, Roach Motel himself.
That's right, baby.
Yes, I think this is the one we're dropping on 420.
So this is our 420 episode.
Oh,
a
this
little
is like
extra
a
stony.
special episode,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
Yeah, well, I wanted to get you very, very high.
hell yeah.
I have weed suppositories.
How do you feel about your colon?
Ooh,
yeah.
They have weed suppositories.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna do one right now.
No,
but I
what,
would do
these
it.
are for you later. You can take these home.
You just put them in your ass.
You just put them in your ass.
It goes through like your colon, and it all absorbs through there.
I've never done a suppository. Period. Is it like a capsule?
I don't know what these ones are. The ones I've seen before were like capsules. But I mean, Frank could probably whip one out.
Yeah, it's like Magic School Bus. They just go.
But I imagine they're made of like coconut oil or some other kind of like fat that just kind of melts in your butt.
No shit.
No, I mean, yeah, there is a little shit.
Could be what I'm scared of.
Yeah, I've never done a suppository.
Because the
But
same
you
way
can
the
do-
bath bombs work. Like when
Yeah,
you
that's
take
what he
like
was
you get in the bath and they get like your skin absorbs a little bit, but the rest of it goes through your colon.
It's so funny that they sell weed suppositories sound like a thing for people who like live in a third world country who can't get weed. You know what I mean? Like
Check it out
it's like
too.
college kids boofing vodka. They're
Yeah.
like,
It is-
"We get
It's
extra
it's
drunk."
shaped like a little fucking.
It's easy. It's a good little
It's
shape.
like a little weed bullet.
Now that seems thin enough, but the
That seems
length
pretty
is,
easy. It's pretty long.
Yeah, the length
a
is
little-
pretty. Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
like hard or is it like
I'm trying to think of how many. Like if I've had fingers in there, so let's think. Like I've gone up to maybe this knuckle. So
think you're
that's about
good.
the same. Yeah,
yeah?
Yeah,
that's like
it's
the
it's
full
pretty
package.
soft.
I got to measure it against the lady's finger.
It already smells like shit. That's just your hands you don't wash.
Oh my god! You've had a finger up your butt?
Oh yeah, tongue and finger. I love it all.
I've had. I think I told you the story. I was 19 or I was 20, maybe 20. So working at a bar when it happened, and I dated a woman for a little bit, saw a woman for a little bit who was just like older than me and was just like, "You want to see something cool?" And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's a little misleading to be like,
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to see something cool.
No,
No, I think what you said to me was you literally said, she said, "Do you trust me?"
That's what she said. She was like, "Do you trust me?" And I
That's
was
better,
like, "Well,
yeah.
you're in my house and we've met for a
Yeah, the
couple of weeks."
whole, you want to see something. That's the one place you don't see anything.
Yeah,
So,
it's more like you want to feel something.
yeah. You're like, I don't want to see it. That's for sure. I don't want to watch it happen. Like, don't video. Like, if a girl's going to do that, please don't video it and think it's going to be hot to watch later. Because that's not.
I got a hairy ass.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I can't believe when they're real troopers when they go down that way. For sure.
You really respect a woman. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, man, you are.
Let's not get crazy. It's more the opposite.
Give this gonna.
If I respected a woman, I'd be like, don't go anywhere near there. Stay away.
Give this girl a gun and send her to war. She's ready for the shit.
No, yeah, I do have, sort of, I definitely go like, wow, that girl was a real soldier. Yeah, for sure.
Give her a medal.
Yeah, for sure. She
Oh.
deserves it.
All right, let's get into the first one. I'm gonna trust you with this one. All right.
All
So
right.
this has got the Ryan Fit top.
And I double tap, yeah?
Oh, I already double tap. So all you gotta do is just hit it.
I just hit the thing.
No, you just inhale.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh man, you're going in.
It's 420, baby.
I thought it was supposed to buzz. I was waiting for it to be like, stop.
But now green means go, baby.
All right.
Fire. To the moon, my friend.
And we
All right.
dabbed
You know what?
it back a few times.
Vapes make me cough more than smoking.
Interesting.
Is that weird?
It depends on what it is too. It depends on the temperature of everything. Frank likes to rip his stuff a little hot,
Yeah, I think
so
that
I'll
has
cough a
something to
little
do
hard
with it.
too. But as I have lower temps, I notice a little less. That's an issue.
Like tobacco vapes. I can't even hit those.
Yeah, I wonder if just temperature probably.
Smoke cigs all day.
Did you? And so
Yeah.
You just started coming. I mean, you didn't just start coming to the store, but one of my favorite things is when you come to the store and
I just started hanging at the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hung out there before in the corner. Hi guys, like everybody else hangs. But yeah, now I've started hanging out there with you, which has been very lovely. Thank you for being so welcoming.
My pleasure. And yeah, how fun is it just going in the back and getting absolutely wrecked?
The best. There's nothing better, you know?
That'd be off.
I feel like I'm a guy that can handle my weed too. I say that now, then it's like 30 minutes
See,
later.
it's 45
like
minutes.
SpongeBob style. But okay. And then
Oh, it's firing too if you want another hit.
oh shit.
Hey man, it's 420. So have you been doing dabs? Is this your first time that you really started getting into it? Because I know you like to get stoned.
Love it. Like I've said, I've had these a few times. I've smoked out of these a few times, these PUFFCO things. I don't have one personally, but a girl that I used to meet up with a bunch was in the game, if you will. So she would like, have briefcases of bongs and PUFFCO. She was like a what do they call them? Like an arms dealer of this type of thing. So she had them and she would be like, you want to do the PUFFCO? We were in the hotel room, so we can't like blaze in the hotel room. So she brought her PUFFCO, and that was like my first experience with that. I was like, hey, can you bring that again?
Dude,
It
it's
makes
so
hotel living so easy.
especially when you're on
Yeah.
the road and you're like fucking traveling. It is so nice to just have this bad boy with you.
And you
Now,
got this-
TSA, what you go through there with that? What do they ever pull that out and go like, I don't know. And then especially with Frank over here, they're like, should we look at a list and make sure?
Didn't
You know what
get
I'm
stopped?
saying?
I've gotten stopped multiple times with that. Once I got stopped with it, just the full box. I hadn't even opened it yet, and they were just like, they looked at it, and then I was like, it's a medical device, and he goes, all right, and then just that was it. And then the other time
It's for my penis.
yeah, in Hawaii, the guy pulled it out and he goes, what is this? And I was like, it's a humidifier. And he goes,
Ooh.
oh, okay. And then that was it.
Yeah. Now that I guess they'd have to be pretty dumb to think that.
Well, also
was a-
that is like, it doesn't look like a bomb.
Like if you said like a portable humidifier, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, and
No,
if
but
you-
like, what does this look like going through the X-ray? It's got coils. It's got.
oh no, it just looks like a battery pack. And then if you take off so I take the chamber off and I put it somewhere else, so it just looks like an errant thing.
Yeah.
And then when they look at it, because it doesn't have like a lot of wires or anything on the inside. So
I still take weed through TSA like it's 1991. You know what I'm saying? But
In your
although I
ass?
guess if it was 1991, it would be a lot easier because 9/11 hadn't happened yet, so they weren't really. They were like, "Hey,
what was
walk
it
through
like?
this metal detector." It was just a metal detector.
Bro, I was in first grade when 9/11 happened. You think I know?
Oh yeah, I was in middle school. That was a good
I was
point.
I was in high school, so it wasn't too far off from Frank here. But I don't really know flying. I fly way more obviously post 9/11. What with our jobs being what it is, but it's like now it's easy. They don't care. They're looking for knives. They're looking for bombs.
Yeah, you almost have to be dumb.
You really have
get
to
caught.
be stupid. I had it one time. Like my strategy. I don't know if is this bad to say what my strategy is? I put the weed. I take it out of whatever container that it came in, jar, bag, whatever. I put it in toilet paper and wrap it that way because textiles are all the same color on the screen, green. So that'll just pass through green. You know what I mean? So then I put that in a sock, keep it all nice and tidy, and ball it up like socks. Now it just looks like socks on the screen, and if you just looked into the brief or into the suitcase. And
That's farther than I would have ever known.
but I don't know. I had a friend who worked at TSA that told me this. So like liquids are red, metals are red. So like knives and shit, guns and stuff, like they're red when they show up.
Yeah.
So like one time, this is years ago, before weed was like legal in even places other than Colorado or California, I was flying from Pittsburgh and I was on tour with Tom, and it was one-nighters. So like if I got arrested or let's just even say pulled aside at TSA and missed my flight, I'd be fired. You wouldn't be seeing me in this seat today. It would be like a real George McFly moment, like if we had a Polaroid of
You
right
just
now, I'd disappear. Yeah, exactly. Because so I went through, the guy pulls my bag. My bag is on the side, like the no-no spot. And the man pulls it, he opens it, and he's looking around. He's got this wand thing he's stabbing around in there with. I'm like, oh my God. But I know he's not looking in where my weed is. But I'm thinking, I'm like, how does he not smell it? You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, I'm like, can I ask what you're looking for? And he told me, he's like, oh, this right here. And he was pointing to like where my toiletries were. And I go, oh, you're looking for this. And it was my deodorant.
Yeah.
It was like spray deodorant. And he goes, yep, right here. That's what I was looking for. Little did he know I had like a quarter of weed in my fucking in the same bag he was just looking around in.
Yeah.
And I went and I threw up in the bathroom. I was so like sweating and nervous, like I thought I was dead. And that's when I realized I'm like, they can't tell at all.
No, and most of the people in the TSA don't even. And this is how I know I'm probably either racist or prejudiced. But when I go through TSA, and you know how you have to pick the line that you go through,
Right?
I always pick the line that has the most black people.
Huh. I always pick just the wrong one, I've learned.
Well, I always want to go to the line that's got the less white people, because I always just feel like if, like, I don't know, a black guy or Mexican guy sees that I have weed in my bag, he's just like, I get it. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though. White people, as I've observed, and there's a deluge of people who don't fly as often as us, so I get it. They don't get the rituals or whatever. But white people are always the daffiest, maybe because they are feeling entitled and bravado when they walk into those things. I see white people go through and have their bags pulled all the time because they have full bottles of water.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
You don't understand. They have like their actual water bottle, or they have to like go dump it into that sad like little toilet thing where they dump liquids. It's so fucking funny to me when I see like some mom have to dump like all her children's. It's like, you've never done this before. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely like watching other people fly for the first time. You're like, where the fuck have you been?
Oh, it's just the worst though. Like I barely made my flight back here yesterday, and it was because of just inefficient TSA, you know? But not to complain about the airport.
Yeah, I feel like we're just complaining about work.
No, but I also, hey, that's what you get. You get a little tip on how to smuggle some weed, and you also have to listen to my boring story about the airport too.
I fucked up. I remember we went to Texas, and I was with another comic, and we were driving through Texas, and it was one of those things. I was like, all right, well, I made sure to clean out my whole bag and everything out of weed, and the whole trip I was fucking miserable because I couldn't smoke anything. And then finally we get back to California, and I'm unpacking my bag, and in the front pocket I feel something. I open it, and I have 2/8 jars of weed.
Nice. Oh,
and
jars.
I was and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I went through this whole trip with just enough weed to go to jail in Texas.
Yeah.
And I didn't smoke any of it, and I'm just walking around. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
I also have been very like just like a coy dog. Like I don't ever think about the fact that I could get arrested in some of these states still, especially since I've moved here. You know, like when I lived where it was illegal, I didn't even care then. And I was like, it's just weed. What are they going to really do to me?
Yeah.
I still feel that way, and I feel like it's the craziest shit. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah, when I go to other places, I'm like, why? And then they're just like, what do you mean why? And you're like, oh yeah.
I've also had cops throw out weed multiple times for me. Like when I got my DWI, I was like 22. Really, the only reason I think that they even had to give me, I mean, I blew .09, so I guess they had to, maybe that registers and something, and they can't just like be like, be on your way. But really, like, I was high out of my mind, and there was so many empty baggies in my center console of just like, because I would just buy 8s, put them in there, smoke them till they were gone, buy another one. Like there was just sandwich bags of weed dust inside my.
You're like,
so
like sandwiches.
I got scared. I go, I'm not a dealer. I'm just, look at the state of my car. It is not obviously not clean. I'm like a hoarder, I guess, in my car. There's more Red Bull. I'm not distributing Red Bull, and there's like 1,000 cans in the fucking seat well over here. So they just didn't even say I had weed on me or a bowl. They let me throw it into the highway.
And they're like, you got to do it slow-mo, and we got to watch you do it.
Well, the guy, I mean, this is like a terrible football reference that for those who aren't fans of football, but he goes, do your best Jim Kelly impression and throw that into the street there. And I was like crying. I was like cold. I'm arrested. You know, I was like, I just threw it. I was like, oh.
Did you tell them you were cold?
Oh yeah, I did.
You're like, I'm crying, I'm cold.
Well, especially when they were doing the test, they were like, "You're like all over." I'm like, I'm shivering. It's freezing out here. I can't walk in a straight line exactly when I'm like, and I'm like, they're like, say the alphabet and shit. I'm like, you know, like I'm freezing.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous. But anyway, I throw this bowl and weed out into the highway or whatever. And the guy's like, I said to do it like Jim Kelly. You did that more like Todd Collins, who's like a shitty Bills quarterback for like, it's like a dad joke. And I just was like, and then he was like, you know, like, do I laugh at the joke? Like, fucking, I go, ha ha ha. And he's like, all right, get back in the, let's get back in the car now. Took me to the holding center.
Jesus.
But yeah, that was one. And then another time, we were just blazing in my car, and the cop's like, "I'll let you all go if you just give me everything you have." And I had just bought an eighth, so I put the eighth in my shoe, and he searches everybody, and he gets to me, and I didn't realize he was making people take
The shoes off?
their shoes off. So like, I heard him say that, and I was like, "Fuck!" So I stuff it way up into like the toe of my foot. It's like in a little ring around my foot, you know.
Huh.
And I get out and I start to take. He goes, "Take your shoes off." And I start to take my shoes like all the way off. He goes, "Oh no, just lift your heel." And I knew right then I was clean. I'm like, yeah,
Like, I'm gonna smoke this ice when I get
dude.
home.
And then we drove away. He let us go, and my friends are all like, we're all peaked, right? Because we just had a cop search us for shit, and like we lost our weed. And I go, "I have an eighth on me right now." He goes, "They were like so pissed.
You got out of it?
They were pissed because they were like, what if he found that? He would have arrested all of us." That's what he said. "Give me everything and I'll let you all go."
He was like, "But I did."
I go, "But we can get high later." You know what I mean? And they were like, "All right."
Dude,
That's fucking terrifying to me.
This is a terrible story, and I'm sure I don't think I ever told my wife this. So when I went to Japan for like 2 weeks, and over there it's fucking like illegal. It's like
yeah, you like get your fingers chopped off
it's like
and shit.
it's like 3 to 6 years and shit. Like
okay.
it's wild, but it's illegal to the point where like they don't know what, like most of them know what weed is, but it's like the smell of it. So if like there's a story I read about a guy who like had weed and he went to 7-Eleven and it fell out of his pocket, and the store owner saw it, realized it was him, called the cops. So when he came back to go get the weed, they just arrested him there. So like, it's the kind of culture where like, if someone else smells you smoking weed, they'll go and call the cops.
That's
and find,
fuck snitch culture,
dude. It is insane. So when I went there, I had to go buy weed. You had to go to the people that sell coke, because they sell like, and the weed's more expensive than the coke because you can't smell cocaine, right? But if you're lighting up weed, people can smell it, right?
Sure, of course.
So I remember my friend was there. He was like, "I have some weed." And he was like, "We're gonna smoke in the house, and it's got like fans, everything. It's a whole thing. It was a whole like fucking ritual."
Yeah.
And then so we're out with his friend, and he was like, "Whatever you do, don't smoke weed with him, because he is the kind of guy that you will get in trouble with him." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "He's just reckless." And I was like,
Cavalier.
Yeah. So we're shit faced, right? And we're on the street in Japan, and we start smoking weed, and a security guard for the club we're at comes up, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're just like, "Nothing." And I turn around and I just walk away. And the other guy was like, "Hey man," and he starts like talking to the cop, right? And I just like, I don't like walk away, but I kind of like turn. I was like, "Oh, we're like smoking a cigarette," and I fucking like chucked the weed.
Oh
like,
my god,
chucked that shit. The farthest I've ever chucked it, in like such an underhand motion behind my back.
Like what setting is this though?
So we're like outside the club. We're like,
was this like in the street somewhere?
Yeah. So we're like, the street's out in front of us. We're like on the stairwell, because you go up 3 stairs and that's where the club is. So we went down, right? And it was pretty empty. And just the security guard just walked down and was like, "What's going on?" And we're like, "Oh shit." And thank God the security guard and the guy kind of pretty much knew each other pretty well. And over there, he just like apologized a bunch. And the guy was like, "I don't give a shit, whatever." And he comes back to me and he was like, "What'd you do with the weed?" I was like, "Oh, I threw it." I was like, I saw the rest of my life go up in flames.
Yeah.
So I just did that. And he was like, "Oh, okay." And it was like $80 worth of weed. And it was a gram. It was a gram of weed. And
that was $80. No,
yeah.
That's how shit goes. I remember I bought weed in London that was garbage, and it was like very expensive like that. I bought it from a guy in a rickshaw. That's where they said to buy it. So I just get in a rickshaw and I go, they call it skunk there in London. It's like Lyft, or whatever else. The loo, I guess. I don't know. But I'm like saying skunk like a fucking idiot all the time. They're like, "No, we call it weed also." The guy was
that's how they tell that you're the tourist, so they can
yeah, exactly. I'm like saying, fucking Bobby and shit. I don't know. What's another one? I couldn't think of another one just then.
Let's get into the first one.
Round 1.
Oh,
so double tap it? Yeah, he's gonna explain what the first one is that we're doing.
This one that we had earlier and then we're smoking right now is the papaya punch from ABX. It's gonna be a nice kind of fruity, like stone fruit, papaya and like mango almost up front.
Yeah, keep it on. Yeah. No, you can
just push it back in.
Yeah, just push it back in. It's so fun.
So it should be sweet fruit, like mango and peach almost up front. And then it's a cross of papaya and purple punch, and the purple punch adds this kind of like musty taste to it that you kind of get on the exhale. So it's going to be the kind of mostly fruit, but a little bit of must.
It's beautiful. What am I? Do I give it like 8 out of 10 stars or something like that? What do I?
No. I mean
3.
Yeah,
No,
we'll see the effect in like.
They're all 10s. Our sponsors are great.
Are these? No, they're all fantastic. I was what? So wait, what are the What were you saying? The effects of like the different ones?
I was like, yeah, you don't have to give it.
Were you just giving me the effect?
Just taste.
Oh, taste. I was
Tasting,
gonna
yeah.
say I didn't hear any
Taste.
effects. I heard tastes.
This guy's
Am I
indica
that
dominant
high?
hybrid though, so more relaxing than anything.
All right. Sorry, I'm like a fucking caveman and I don't understand. I'm like doing everything
That's what
wrong with these
JP's,
things. I'm like, if you guys were like, oh, well, we come on this program and we smoke out of a Coca-Cola can, I'm like, then I would know what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Are you not? Do you usually do concentrates, or is like, what's your?
No, I just smoke weed like it's 2003 still, baby. I mean, I really didn't start till late, but I just am like trailer trash. I love bowls. I used to just walk around LA with a bowl in my pocket.
And just be that smelly guy.
And I don't give a shit. I never cared about that. I'd go to open mics. People be like, some dildo open micer company be like, someone's smoking weed. I go, yeah, it's me. I don't care.
I'm high as shit.
Yeah. I don't ever mind when anyone, they're like, are you high right now? I'm like, no, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't clearly know. You're just like being an asshole, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you gotta, I'm sorry. We have to share these, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna load you up. So I forget. So when did you move to Los Angeles?
2017.
And you were doing the LA scene out here?
Yeah, but I did more. I didn't really do, I mean, I did open mics here, don't get me wrong, but I was like already more learned than it wasn't like I was a part of the scene because I was just doing open mics to go tell jokes, and then I did road gigs.
Yeah, you were.
But
you were among the few. There's a few guys who were already open.
But I did
for
open mics
gigs
since 2008 in Buffalo, like basically up until moving here in 2017. So.
Okay.
And I did like the road from Buffalo, but I mean those open mics were my shows in town. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We had Helium, and they would give me a ton of work, thankfully. But that came in 2012. But from 2008 to 2012, there were like 3 shows in town, and they were open mics. Open micers were doing them, but regular people would come watch them because it's kind of like a thing to do. It's like karaoke or something. People go watch that kind of thing in Buffalo. They go, there's no other comedy shows, so they're like, let's go watch the local. Or you do fire hall. I did fire halls for years and shit like that.
Like old school fire halls.
Well, I mean, fire halls that just like have their like spaghetti dinner night, and they have a comedy show, and like you get to know the local dudes. That like, there was like a dude in town named Nick Syracuse that was really dope, and he like used to fax jokes to Leno, but he would like be like, I'm a Leno writer. I don't think he was ever. I mean, it never was verified to me that he was but he was like the nicest, coolest dude, and he was actually very funny, and like he would always just give you like, I got a fire, I'll give you $200. You come do 15 minutes or whatever, so like that kind of shit.
Those early gigs.
Yeah, that kind of like taught me how to do like a club, and then when the club opened up, I was like already like I got to MC like right out of the gate, and then they had their contest like within 6 months or whatever of them opening, and then I won the first one that they had, and then they were like, all right, you can middle, and that's when it was like work started coming.
Yeah. And once that work starts coming in, you're like, holy shit, that middle work, it's nice. You can eat off it a little bit.
I mean, I also had a radio gig, so I was I didn't make a lot of money doing radio, but then eventually it was like, oh, comedy's kind of like catching up to it. So if I could live off the radio money, I can live off the comedy money. And so then that's when like, boom, I made the
full leap.
Yeah, and thanks to Tom, he helped me. I mean, he gave me his whole tour that year. That's the thing. He was like, I'll give you the tour if you move to LA. And so I was like, well, what am I going to say no to that? So
there's a real childproof top.
No idea how to. So this is a weed drink too.
Yeah, but it's a 1-to-1, so there's CBD in there as well. So the THC really isn't too.
So I can like pound this. I'm not going to really get fucked.
Yeah, you really. It's only 5 milligrams of each. So depending on your edible
So
tolerance,
like
but it really shouldn't be super gnarly. I also
it's only 5 milligrams.
Yeah,
oh, dope.
Okay, nice and light
of each.
I can chug that then. I wouldn't like. This is how I would normal. Like if I was buying a weed drink, I never go like, it's just a drink I can walk around and drink. I just go like, go, like pounding because I want to get
I
high.
do them too. I get the 100 milligram Uncle Arnie's.
Yeah.
In this
no,
case, I'm
insane.
speaking and smoking, so I need a little something to keep my.
Ooh, you want to go into the next one?
Round 2.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay. It's
So
already.
this is
in
a
there?
new flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
Already
all
loaded that one up. That
I
one's
didn't
gonna
even-
be the grape gelato cookies from Punch.
I don't even know what time it is. I'm just like smoking when we. I thought
It's
you
Wednesday,
were waiting
bro.
for me to do it. It's Wednesday. I wouldn't care. That's the great part about life right now. Thank you.
Yeah. So how have you been liking just coming in at the store and like hanging out?
I love it,
starting
dude.
to,
I
like,
want
work your way
to.
through?
Only thing I really like need in my life, and I'm not saying need like in a desperate way. I just like the only thing I'm like aiming towards is getting my name on that wall, and then I really don't care what else happens.
That's
Honest to God,
that's kind of how I felt.
because like I'm doing the other stuff, and if I never sell more than the tickets I sell now, I'll be happy until I die.
Yeah.
If it goes less, then we'll start talking. But if I got my name on that wall, I would feel accomplished.
Yeah. I feel
That's
like
all I need. I don't need a Tonight Show. Nothing.
I feel like once you dial into what you want and what you need, you kind of just become a little happier. You know, like I don't know. I feel like I did everything backwards, but still, it's like this is. I don't know. This is fun. I like this shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, I never thought in a million years I would even go this far. I thought I was gonna I'm like, if I do fireballs forever, dope. I can't believe I'm getting paid.
If I'm eating spaghetti dinner for every Friday for the rest of my life,
Yeah, but like every now and then, I'd go to the rinky-dink clubs around. They weren't rinky-dink. I'd go to the clubs and do like rinky-dink stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'd MC and I wouldn't care. Like
yeah,
I would MC for like anybody. And I got to meet so many like different spanning type of headliners, people on the way up, people on the way down, people like
those way down ones are
Killing it.
fucking
those are my
humbling.
they're the best. And they like give you perspective, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they're really not on the way down, but some of them talk to you like they're on the way down, and they say things that are like cautionary tales, and they talk about yesteryear, but really it doesn't have to be that way. If you
Mm-mm.
I feel like because then you meet a couple where you're like, there you have you're like, this guy's gonna be a real dildo, right? Because
Yeah.
he's like, what's his career now? You think about that in your head like an idiot as an MC or whatever, and then you talk to him and you start getting an idea about what their life is like, and you're like, oh, if only I get to do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Like Ian Bagg is probably one of the careers I'm like, that seems like it's cool. Like he's like happy, he tours, crushes all the time, he's doing well. And I was like, that's a guy who's like very happy with where he's at, and I love that.
Yeah, the bitter people make you sad along the way, but
Yeah.
you just go like, I can't be like one of those people. I'm never gonna be like that. Not when it comes to comedy. I could be bitter about other things, but
I
I'm
think
not
they're
gonna
in
be-
everything you do. You know what I mean? There's always that one asshole.
Yeah. That's what you learn. But some people like, I don't know, they drift that way. You ever, people you start with sometimes. You ever notice that? A couple of them, they start drifting toward the bitter side,
Yes.
dark side.
Yeah,
Makes you
yeah.
sad.
Yeah, it's also weird when like you start to see I don't know if it happened to you or you've seen it happen to groups of people. I've seen it happen is when people start to like change because you either get what they perceive as success or that what they perceive as like you getting better or whatever. Or you see those relationships where those like they become contingent on them doing better than you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that's more prevalent starting out here. For me, it was like, I look back and I feel bad about expecting all of those people to like try and run as fast. Because like
Yeah.
I forgot that, or at least I have the perspective now that not everybody had the same, not everybody really wanted to do comedy. They're just doing open mics like they do like, they were hobbyists.
Yeah.
And I used to resent that in them.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have done, I should have just recognized it for what it was and just said, but then, you get to a place like out here, like I can name 2 people that were doing comedy when I started that are still like really doing it for like and their level in life has slowly risen, and they're awesome. And I try to bring them on the road with me every time I can now and everything like that. So, but that's it. There's 2,
Yeah.
out of like 100 probably.
Yeah. I think there's like 1 or 2 friends that I've started with that I feel like haven't made the jump to LA, but I think are still like very funny and they're still like trying so hard to do it. And, if I ever get the chance to start bringing people, I would bring like maybe one person.
Yeah. Well,
But-
these other guys, the two that I like bring on the road with me, this is what's crazy is like they brought me on the road with them.
Oh wow.
Before.
Yeah.
And I would sleep on the floor just like hoping to get a guest set. This is how wild it was. They were either emceeing or hosting, and I would just show up. Like I happened to, like, I wouldn't say they brought me. I wouldn't like throw any shade like that at them because I would want to hold them liable.
Yeah, you
or
don't want to
whatever.
fuck their shit up either.
Right. So but I would still like just hang. I would act like I'm just there to hang. And then eventually, most of the time, like Dan Cummins was the headliner the first time. And he goes, "Do you want to do some guest sets?" And I'm like, "Sure." Just from like, I'm like, "Yeah, of course." And then I'm like, boom.
Yeah.
And that's the whole trip. I drove 7 hours in the back of this guy's car just to do guest sets with one at a real club. And then I did that like with them all the time. So of course, like now.
But that's great because it builds up. Like Dan Cummings saw you, and then later
Yeah,
when he sees you,
I still talk to him. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
later when he
Yeah,
sees
and
you,
he's
he'll be
like,
like,
this and like guys like even like Taylor Williamson. Every time I see that guy, he's like, he actually said to me the one day, he was like, "I'm really proud of you." And like, I don't really know Taylor Williamson, but I met him like through the years,
Mhm.
and he saw like, "Oh, you're the guy from the radio," and then it was like,
Right.
he's like, "Now look at what." He's like, "It's crazy." I'm like, "It's cool that someone sees it." You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, 'cause
from a career perspective,
when
know?
you're in it so much, yeah, you know, you're fucking doing the whole grinding thing. You don't have a chance to see like where you take a step back. You're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like the last. I've never like really hung. I mean, we just chat when we run into each other.
Yeah.
It's
Who's
so
the? Let's
funny.
get to the good stuff. Who's the worst part? No, I'm just kidding. All right, you want to ask a question?
Oh yeah, sure. What's the one snack if you stoke they turn into a drink?
One
Mount-
snack that
yeah,
they
so
stoked?
Mountain Dew just dropped their hot Cheeto flavor Mountain Dew.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wait,
what's-
you just put my brain in a pretzel.
Yeah.
Is it Dorito flavored Mountain Dew
It's
or
a-
is it Mountain
Sorry, my
Dew
bad.
flavored Doritos?
My bad. Hot Cheetos flavor. My apologies.
Hot Cheetos
Hot
flavored
Cheetos
Mountain Dew?
flavors Mountain Dew.
Wait, when you drink the Mountain Dew,
It's
it tastes
spicy.
like hot Cheetos,
Yeah.
not hot Cheetos that taste like Mountain Dew.
Yeah. It's a bubbly beverage.
I wouldn't want the beverage. I'd like Mountain Dew flavored hot Cheetos.
All right, I feel that. That actually seems a little bit more. I'm surprised that didn't come before. Who
Why
wants
aren't
to
they
drink
making-
hot Cheetos?
they make
What flavor
Cool
is Mountain
Ranch.
Dew?
Because think about it.
I drink Cool Ranch.
Think about it. Cool Ranch
Would not drink Cool Ranch.
is like a seasoning, right? They
Yeah.
make all these different seasonings. Why not come up with like a Mountain Dew one? It would almost taste like a. I don't even know what it would taste like. Almost like a fucking Sour Patch Kid or some
Ooh,
shit.
no,
I don't
fuck.
know.
Why are they fucking around with chips and shit? They need to fucking do like chocolate shit. Like if there was like a Snickers flavored chocolate milk.
There is.
Well, here's a better. I'm going to evolve my idea.
Yeah, and Twix, all that shit.
I don't know about
Alright.
that. I'm not a chocolate guy, so just one year out the other for me. I'm sorry. That's what I would say if I was like in a boardroom.
Not interested.
Oh, so you're definitely the guy who pitched the Mountain Dew Cheetos. I'm the guy who's like,
Right.
let's drink Snickers.
I'm debating. Yeah, I'm like almost
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, if you're gonna go chocolate, I don't know.
It's like if you're gonna be like a typical bitch.
But if I evolve my idea, ready?
That'd be
Baja Blast. Now, does that flavor ring more true in your ear? Like it could fit on a chip, almost like you're eating a margarita
I can't
on
get
a summer day.
I can't.
I'm acting like you're gonna buy this
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. Well, now
I
I'm
really
just-
like put my all in it, thinking you might, and I was like, "Oh, this is going nowhere."
Well, okay. No, well, now I imagine like he's the CEO. I'm like
That's
the
what I
guy.
was pitching it to.
I'm the guy who's trying to pitch you like the new shit, and like you're because by the way, like
I did just boardroom you. I was just
Yeah,
like alpha
exactly.
you in the.
imagine being in a
chocolate.
boardroom and the guy against you just goes, "Let me evolve my idea." I would fucking hate that guy for the rest of my life. Yeah, I'd be like fuck that guy.
Yeah, but by the way, you
Ah.
need the plug on Twix milk. You let me know.
Really? Do you have that? Where do you get the Twix milk?
I look at some.
Oh, so
Some
it's
homies, you know what I mean?
redundancy in the market.
They're like those rare munchie shops and shit. They make them like in Europe.
Oh
and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So they have like all of that crazy shit, but like it's dope as fuck and delicious.
So what do you? So you were pitching the Mountain Dew.
I've changed it. Baja Blast. It's a form of Mountain Dew. I don't know what they do to it, but it's a certain
It tastes
Mountain
better.
Dew,
It does.
and there's a little something to it. It's almost like if you put salt on the rim, it'd be like a little faux margarita.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a salty chip with that flavor, like dusting. We got
Corn
a
chip or
summer hit,
potato
fellas.
chip?
That's pretty good.
Corn chip or potato chip?
I think it would be a corn chip, a salty corn chip with that dusting on it. You're by the pool. You're having a fucking margarita. Now I'm like Don Draper all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Time turns
Yeah.
the wheel. No, but it would be fucking refreshing.
All right. Yeah, damn, he wins. Yeah, absolutely. God damn, I'm getting creamed in the CEO meeting.
You're welcome, Lays or whoever the fuck.
What was the one arcade game as a kid that you walked into a pizza shop and was like, I'm gonna fucking beat everybody on this
Oh,
thing?
are we talking versus only? Because
Or whatever. Like if you have somewhere you have a high score and you're like,
Metal
I'm the fucking
Slug.
kid.
Metal Slug was like the one game. That and fuck. Damn. All right. Gauntlet, Metal Slug, and Time Crisis. Those are the three that like any place I saw them, I'd be like, I'd bug family people for money.
Yeah.
Time Crisis was great because it's such a good shooter, right? And you get to,
It's always like $1.50 to play though.
yeah,
It's fucking
and
crazy.
and it was like if you were good, you could get through like them pretty far. But if you fucking sucked, you were spending a lot of money. Gauntlet was great because it was like that four-person over the top like cartoony
crawler.
ridiculous dungeon crawler, and then Metal Slug was just I don't know. It was like
It was fun. It was a fun side scroll. It was probably the best of like.
Side
It was
scroll,
very
yeah.
Contra E.
Yeah.
These are arcade games.
Yeah.
I don't know what I know Time Crisis.
That was like in pizza shops when I was a kid.
yeah.
We had like the Deer Hunter one.
Played a
Oh,
lot of that.
actually, I will fuck up a deer.
That and then like the Paradise Racing or whatever it is. I had a
Oh,
lot
no,
of that
no,
where
no.
you hit the gas.
Well, I was
twice
gonna
and you
say
shoot up.
Cruising USA.
I think that's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
That
Crazy
shit is so
Taxi.
old though. Cruising USA, like it was old when I was a kid. So I don't even know. That's what I was saying. Like I don't even know if you guys would have
Something
fucked with
just
that.
clicked.
They
for me,
did
too.
They did like Cruising World. That
Yeah.
was
That
another
was the one I
Mhm.
played.
Yeah, that was like the sequel.
You put the phone
Phone
number.
number in, yep.
Yeah,
And save your cars and shit.
yeah.
There was a place where I grew up called Doc's Fun Center where you would, but it was all like ancient arcade games. This is like, I don't even remember Galagaga or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm
Galaga?
saying? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean. I didn't want to play any of those. I played The Simpsons. We'd play pool because they had a pool table, and we'd play Cruising USA, and we would do the entire USA because it was free. You pay by the hour,
Mhm.
so we would just hog that ride and race and then tally like who got the most races in the whole
Yeah.
circuit.
And that was my favorite. Like when you won first place, you got a free race.
Yep.
And so you go and just fucking. Just keep
And then if you
wrecking.
do like the whole circuit, they have a thing where Bill Clinton is on top of the White House with Monica Lewinsky and shit. Like,
Doing what?
or he's up there like with a whore or something. I don't remember. But he's up there doing something. He's like, right on. And he's got like a girl in a bikini or some shit. And Hillary's all like mad or something. I forget what. It's like something where you just go, haha, Bill Clinton's funny or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it was Bill Clinton though. It was like,
That's pretty awesome.
Want to take a nap?
yeah.
Take a rip.
Little ripper.
If you
It
want
just
to
made me
take
remember
another,
that. I gotta look that up because I don't think it was as. I think I'm having the Mandela effect about what the graphic was, and I'm thinking Bill Clinton was doing something like heinous on it, where you were like, I can't believe that's there. But I think it was just him with like girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. But I would.
Which
be
was like
funny.
how that game was. Those are like who would do the starting girls and everything. Like when the
Right. But in my memory, I go, Bill Clinton was getting blown on the video game, guys. If you win the
pay to
whole
play.
game,
it's like the
Bill
hot coffee
Clinton
mod.
gets the blowjob.
Yeah. Something clicked for me. I just realized because my dad drank a lot. And so there would always be arcade games at either bars or the pizza place he would always frequent. So I was like, I love these games. I was like, why do I love these games? I was like, oh, because I would play those games whenever he'd be out playing. Twin Creeks, baby. They
You know
also
what?
had a Nickel City.
That Nickel City, is that like that's like the chain of arcades, right?
Yeah, it was so it was like every game cost a nickel, and then they had free games in the back. But also when I went to high school, my stepdad owned arcade games that were around town in Temecula.
Sick.
So
Oh,
we literally
wow.
just had arcade games at the house.
That's
and I just
cool.
remember like, yeah, just chilling and playing.
That's
My
wild. I
favorite
always
was,
wish I fucked people up in Top Golf.
I was gonna say, yeah, Golden Tee was my shit.
Oh,
That's yes.
Yeah.
Golden Tee.
The shit. With
You
the
did
fucking
good at that?
trackball. Yeah.
Oh my god, because you could play like people on the internet then too and stuff. There was like tournaments. I always dreamed I could be a a Golden Tee guy.
Well, didn't you like host a PGA tour in PGA in 2K?
I
like on
did that
Twitch?
on that
Yeah, yeah.
that game.
That game was so fucking fun.
Yeah. Unless you want to hit him one more time.
We're switching weeds, right?
Yeah.
I did that. That's different. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we would hold that video game allows anybody to do
So
that,
good.
but I just did it on Twitch because it was like I could have thousands of people play in a thing if there was only hundreds, but I mean in
It's
my
fucking
brain
rad.
collect it was like
Cool as fuck.
still fun. Like you could just hold tournaments for a weekend and people play at their leisure. And you could do that with like all your friends too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what's cool about that game. And I don't even know if they're gonna make that game again.
Yeah,
But
no, it's
Top
so good.
or Golden, I keep calling it Top Golf. Golden Tee with the thing back in the day, like it was at every driving range, and you'd see like people's names on the internet, like the top guys, and you're like, man, I want to get in one of those.
Getting your
tournaments.
name at the top was like this.
It'd
Shit.
show their prize money too, and you'd be like, what the fuck? It was like the early days of e-gaming. I feel
Yeah.
like Golden Tee. They were ahead of their time.
What was the fuck? Where was the? It was Golden Tee. There was another game that I remember everyone play. Now I remember. I was at a show and they had like an arcade emulator in the green room. So it was they built an arcade like cabinet and they put in an emulator and it had all the NBA jams.
Oh,
And me and Maddie Chambord almost started the show late because we were fucking just playing it.
that's so funny.
So much fun.
Dude, I worked. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
Half court dunks were my fucking shit in NBA Jam. You had to put the cheat code in right in the beginning, and like I think it was like you have to hit up 16 times or something like that, and then it was like a combination of like A and B on Sega Genesis, and you can do the half court dunks.
Yeah, that's right. I had Game Gear back in those days. NBA Jam time. I always liked playing like just the regular sports games since I was like a little kid. That's why I wanted video games.
This actually goes perfectly to the next question. What do you think is the best sports gaming franchise?
Oh my god, this is so hard.
For me, dude, right out there, Slugfest. You ever
What is
play
it?
those back in the day? They were the baseball games where you could, like, if you bean the pit, if you hit the batter too many times, he would like catch on fire and charge the mound.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
to
dude,
be
they
quite
were
honest.
the shit. They were the
I wish I did.
What was the fucking NFL games? They were just like that.
Blitz.
They're like
Oh,
blitz of
yeah.
baseball.
Oh,
Essentially.
okay.
And
Blitz
you could
I
like
played.
slide. You could like tackle. You could slide into the base and like cleat someone, and they'd like drop the ball, and
Oh,
you'd be able to
that's
run to
awesome.
third base.
I did not know they made a baseball version. I wasn't as into baseball as a kid as I was football, so I played Blitz like hell though.
Yeah.
That was fun.
On 64 for me.
You remember that Monster game? It was
Rampage?
like Monster Blitz or some
No.
shit.
These are all because I'm all I play is sports games.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I like the realistic, like,
Oh, okay.
as
You didn't like
fuck
the
ones.
fantasy fucking blood. And
No.
gore
I mean,
shit?
I did as a kid, but now I mean, like, if I'm gonna pick the best one,
Madden 2007 is a game that I'll always remember because I remember playing that shit religiously with.
that
my
was
cousin.
Michael Vick on the cover.
Yep.
Yeah. Or Michael Vick?
Was it
might have-
Mick?
Was it? Michael Vick
Was
was
Vic
maybe
08?
04.
Or
7 might have been. Was it Favre when he went to was doing the Jets,
Dude, I
like the
can't
multiple
remember. I just
team
remember playing
thing?
it.
They were like two covers.
Maybe. Yeah, Michael Vick was 04, wasn't he, or something like that?
I just remember getting murdered. It was like when they first dropped the truck stick.
Yeah,
that's the shit.
the hit stick. Oh my god! And then they had QB vision in one of those years.
Yep.
Yes.
Which was so weird.
I think that was when 2K made it. I think it might have been 2K's football game.
no. There was 1 year Madden had QB vision where it was like a cone.
Yeah.
And like if you had a shitty quarterback, his cone would be super narrow,
Yeah.
and it would be like. But if you had like Brett Favre, it would be
See
like
the whole fucking
Yeah,
field.
you just see the whole field. It wouldn't even need cones, and it was dumb. And they got rid of it immediately. But I can't decide between Madden and MLB The Show. Because Madden is just I'll never stop buying it. Everyone's like, it's the same game every year. I'm like, they should audit $60 for the rest of my life out of my life now for Madden, because I'm just never gonna stop buying it. You know what
I
I'm
buy
saying?
it every year.
Yeah.
I play
Yeah.
for like 15 hours of the year. That's about it.
Oh, I
I
play it.
buy it every year.
If my wife knew the amount of money I spent on video games randomly that I just buy and then play
Never
for like
play
a
again.
day, she would just fucking murder me.
That's
My
so
Steam
funny.
library is big.
No, I'm obsessive. Like I'll play MLB The Show right now. I'll play it like I'll turn on baseball, and I'm such a fucking nerd. Like I'm so autistic when it comes to baseball. I'm just like I don't know where it came out of the pandemic too. It's like it's my midlife crisis. I'll never buy a fancy car. I just live my life to like I wake up, I start watching baseball, I play baseball on the video game. I'm like, that's my day.
Did you ever play sports?
Never baseball. Never. That's the thing. I never got into it until like now.
Wow.
Like 3 years ago.
So
obsessive into it too. Like it's my hobby. Like I'm building model planes or some shit. Like a fucking old man. Like it's weird.
It's hilarious to see you just get into baseball now.
Like I've like every time I confess it to, I don't have a team. I wear every team's hat. I just like I'll go to any game. I'll watch any game on television. I'm fans of players, you know.
What's been like your favorite like arena experience or like baseball stadium?
Oh, that's the thing.
experience?
I'm trying to go to all of them as quickly as I like schedule gigs around going to the games now. I was so pissed. I was just in San Francisco and neither the A's nor the Giants were in town this weekend.
I think like I was a Bay Area kid, so I'm definitely biased, but I think like Giants baseball is one of my favorite experiences.
Yeah.
Because you could like ride the train to the park, get out, go do the whole game, get back on the train. But like it was always just like the coolest fucking
Coca-Cola
experience.
slide's great.
Easy as fuck. But also they built that park when I was like a kid, so it was brand new my whole life.
You live there?
Oh yeah, real
that's
close.
cool.
Yeah.
My best friend in comedy and the guy I do my Patreon with, Matt Bergman, he did his wedding on one of those cars, like the ceremony,
cable car?
and they stopped at the the cable car, and then they stopped at the Giants Stadium and had the reception in a suite during the game. It was
that's
sick.
fucking
but I
sick.
was too poor to go. I couldn't go. He was only like, he had like 9 people. It was, or I don't know, I guess it was 30 people, but
That's still fucking sick.
something like that.
Oh, what's this flavor? Oh, wait, is that a 5 minute or 15? All right, cool. Sorry, that's the high part of me where I was like, how many times have you raised your hand?
We've been taking more dabs than usual.
yeah, we have.
Yeah, it was a new one out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
new one.
This one's pink lemonade. It's
A double
gonna-
tap. Sorry, what was
Double
it?
tap.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're good, bro.
Final round, Doug.
Hell yeah. Let's see pink lemonade. So it's a over sativa hybrid, but it's going to be kind of a nice lemon citrus front. But it has a really nice sweet candy taste that kind of lingers in your mouth. This is one that you'll dab and you'll be able to taste it kind of minutes after. Just kind of stick around, but it's like kind of like sweet lemon taste.
Oh yeah, it's still heating up.
Almost a little bit like kind of sour, which is why I think they give the pink lemonade in there. Because it have almost like that kind of grapefruity kind of tartness to it on the end as well. No, but yeah, my favorite.
Now it's ready.
Yeah.
I managed to get a hit out of it
Early.
before, but I have to get it in its full effect. I can't just. Boy, I really went in and got it.
But
Wasn't
yes,
even hot yet. I'll make it hot. I was like ready to. I got a hit out of it. Regardless, that's the resin guy in me.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
How many times do you think you scraped your like pipe for resin?
In my life, like if I had a statistic counter, there was like in Buffalo, it was not easy to get weed sometimes.
Totally.
There was like in 2009, there was like a 2-month period where me and my cousin called it the darkest of days. Like we couldn't get weed. Every dealer we ever came, like our friends' dealers couldn't get weed. So you know what I mean?
That sounds like a stoner
wild.
movie.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like a movie like where it's like, because even back in the day before shit was legal, like shit like that would happen all the time.
We still talk about it. Like we were like, remember that one? It was in the winter too, which makes it extra annoying. Like, because the winter, all you want to do is like, you're not going outside. You're like, I just want to stay inside and smoke weed.
Yeah.
And like, there's something cozy about it. Smoking a bowl while it's snowing out.
Was the weed good out there?
It was Canadian because we were right over the border,
okay.
so we'd get a lot of
pretty
Canadian weed.
Yeah, I wonder if the winter had anything to do with how hard it was to get there. Like
It
people were
wasn't
like, "I'm not fucking
recreational at the
delivering
time, but that's just where they were growing really crazy weed. I remember I went to the first time I ever like figured out you shouldn't get drunk and then super high. Like in that order, The first time was at the radio station I worked for sent a limo up to Canada, and I was only 19. So like in Canada, you can drink when you're 19. So I had to wait till we crossed the border, and then I could drink all I wanted, like legally. And we used to go up to Canada all the time and just get shit faced and get hotel rooms up there. But in this case, we had this limo, we had champagne, I'm with the other workers who are like adults. Like I'm a DJ too. So like people are like, woo, we're over the border. Now we can drink. And they're just getting me wasted. Right. So we're wasted. I'm wasted as I go to the concert. And in the concert, Canadians had this joint. Like, you want to smoke this weed? And I was like, sure. and I barely was smoking weed at the time, and it was this Canadian shit. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't see. It was just purple. And I just like fumbled my way through the building until I found a wall and just traced the wall all the way till I found the bathroom. And then just sat in a stall until I could see again.
And that was so you got hella crossfaded.
Yes. That was the worst crossfade. In the middle of like being on the floor of it was Audio Slave, not Soundgarden, sorry, but timelines are crazy. But it was Audio
Oh yeah,
Slave.
that's gotta be fucked up to trying to find the bathroom to like a stone. You're just fucking shitty.
Dude, exactly. Yeah. I said Soundgarden the first time. That's not accurate.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell though, yeah.
I remember I think same thing. I was like 20, first time I got crossfaded. I was with my coworkers. We ran into my boss, and we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. We all got stoned. I ate a bunch of fucking chicken wings. Went back to his place. We started drinking, and then I ate even more food. I remember he busted out these like dill pickles that they were like fermented in this crazy. They were delicious, but they fucking fucked my shit up. And I just remember waking up at 3 a.m. and I was shitting and throwing up at the same time. Like I was on the toilet just letting it rip, and then I remember I'd be like, "Bruh!" And like I threw up, it hit the wall, and then I had to like a spout. I'm turning and then trying to make it back into the toilet, and I just remember my roommates waking up and going to the restroom, being like, "What the absolute fuck?" I was the worst roommate in my 20s because I was like figuring out what my body can do and what I can drink and take, and you know what I mean.
Same with my like first apartment. Yeah, same thing.
That's where my first year in college was. Like most of it was me just figuring out like what not to drink and like how to handle yourself, bro. And it's like it's scary, bro.
Yeah, what not to mix.
It's like, hey, maybe you should learn.
Now when I get too high, I go, I just need a couple beers, I'll level out. It's the other way around. You know, if you get high and now actually nothing really matters for me. I don't get crossfaded like unless I'm like fucking doing shots. Yeah, exactly.
Pissed drunk.
And I don't think the weed. I think the weed helps out in that case. Like just weed at this point and I are just. It's like to get to zero, and in this case, today I get a little peaked. If you will.
Here's the name of the show.
But yeah, no, it's. I remember. My buddy and I, another comic, Matt Wayne, and I were doing a weekend, and he was coming to town. He's a New York comic, so he was in Buffalo doing the club. I'm emceeing, he's middling. I don't even remember who the headliner was. And we couldn't wait. We're working together. He's staying at my house, and we're getting tweaked up. And this other comic who was doing guest sets was staying there too. And this kid was like much younger than us. I think I was 26, and Matt's like 30 something, and this kid's like 20, maybe 19 or something like that, like young. And he's like, "Are you guys just gonna smoke weed all day?" And we were like, God willing, I hope so.
You're like, guess who just lost their spot?
We were all like, kind of like, what the hell? Who do you care? And then he's asking Matt, he's like, "Don't you guys get like extra really high?" And Matt's like, sat him down. And he goes, "I really just get to zero these days." And he's like having this like old man conversation with him where he's like, "I really just needed to get out of bed in the morning." Stuff like that, like weird shit.
And the kid's like got no hope. He's
Dude,
like, what?
This kid asked a waiter at the club if he could stay at his house the rest of the week. We were like, "Good, get out of here, you dork."
Dude, I fucking love that shit. I remember dude, that's so funny. There's this room in, I think it's Hacienda Heights. You ever been there?
No, I've never been there.
I think that's what it's called. It's like, it's a Mongols hangout. It's like a bar. It's a bar show. And
I don't know shit out here, by the way.
Okay. Totally fine. It's like where all the Mexicans.
I wish I did.
And it's like a Mongols bar, which is like a biker gang. And they do a comedy show out there, like Jeff Richards and a few other people. Jeff Garcia used to do it and stuff. So it's a very not well known, but it's an old room, I guess the way to describe it. I remember I was going there and I was doing it, and like, when you see people like that are like scary, like this is a place to hang out. They're not trying to fuck with anyone. And also it's like, we're not people, all the comics aren't people that are like, in that kind of scene. So they pretty much leave us alone. But there's one kid who I could tell had never ever been around like rough people like that, because he was like visibly scared. And he was just like, and this Mongols guy walks by. He's got the whole patch and everything. A group of them, their bikes are all out front. And he walks out, and they're starting to see the show. And the guy's just like, "What do we do?" And we were just like, "I was like, nothing, dude. You just chill." I was like, "As long as you're not fucking with him, you're fine, right?" And we're like smoking weed, and the owner is there, and I know he's the owner because someone had told me previously. But a lot of the comics don't realize that this scary looking guy is also the owner of the bar. So the one of the Mongols walks by and he's like, "Oh, you guys just smoking weed here? All right." And just walks off. And the kid's like, "Oh," just immediately like, what was that? It was like, "Dude, it's nothing." And then the owner comes back and he's got 2 other Mongols with him. And he's just like, "Oh, you guys are just going to smoke weed in my fucking bar?"
Oh, geez.
And like all the comics are like, most of the comics have been there, are like, they realize that he's just fucking with the New York comics.
I did not know that.
Who didn't
either.
realize
I would have
that.
been like,
yeah, right. So, and I immediately was just like, "Oh, this guy's just fucking with everybody." So I was just like, and I just, I was just didn't say anything. But the kid's just like, he goes, "I didn't smoke weed," and immediately they all just locked on him because he just sold everybody out. And he was just like, he was like, "You know what these guys do to fucking guys that smoke weed in my bar?" And he was like, "Nothing." He was like, it's fine. He was just fucking with the guy, and the Mongols were like, "Oh yeah," and just like walked away. But they like were so intimidating to this kid, and this kid was like so scared.
And then it's like
left.
everyone else is kind of like, it's hard to respect that kid now.
Yeah. It was just so fucking
I don't know
funny,
if I'll
man.
ever
That's
really
fucking hilarious,
Dude,
guy.
it was so great.
I'm gonna fucking die right now.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh." Yeah, he just left. I was like,
I didn't
"It's so
smoke weed.
funny."
I didn't do it.
Yeah, but it was just like, yeah, man. I was like, is there like, it was like, "Do you sell drugs?" He was like, "No," and I was like, "Then you're fine."
There's an age in my life, I think, in my 20s, where I would have done this. I would have panicked in a way where I would have sold out myself, and I would have just been like proven to be a little bitch. But I'm hoping in my older years, I would just kind of like see it through. I'd be like, well, if I die, I die. If they have to, hopefully they'll just like, I'll be so passive that they'll just kill enough people and be like, all right, the rest of you can get out of here.
He looks cold.
Yeah. You look like you've been through enough. Go on.
You want to do one more question before we get out of here?
What's the one MTV reality show or game show you wish you could have been on?
Oh, you know what? Real World. I fucking wish I would have been a Real World, because that looked fun. It was like, you're in your 20s, you're young, you get to go live in another place, and then they film you and you get to get shit faced and fuck other hot people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds great.
Yeah, I think I would pick Road Rules only because everyone has to live like a savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all on the same playing field. Like, if I start living in a house with people, I feel like I'm going to leave like a dish out or something. And they're going to be like, "Josh left the dish out again."
It's
It's like one of those things where it's like, his pubes are, I'm like, people, I shed, I'm hairy. Like, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
didn't
hairy.
think of that.
You know what I mean? Like, all these things, like living with people bugs. I can't wait. Right now I have a roommate because I'm still in the same apartment since I've gotten here to LA, and I'm like actively looking, but also being very picky about where I move. But I'm going to live alone. I can't wait. And that's all I want. So Road Rules, though, is like a trip. And you're all like, we're sleeping in, it's like being on the road. You know what I mean? And I love the road. I didn't even put those things together till just now. That's how perfect I am. I'm absolutely enhanced. I just made that connection in my brain. Road Rules is like the road.
Whenever we hang out, I've never seen your eyes this open.
He's peaked, dog.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. And the lights. I mean, maybe they're just like blasting my good. This eye is definitely. This is where we should be shining the lights on this eye because I can't see out of it. So it's like, yeah, blast all the lights into that one all you want. This one I'm gonna walk out later, like, blinking 1,000 times.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Oh, the Josh Potter show's every Tuesday on YouTube and on all the sound ones, the listening ones. And yeah, I'm going to be in Indianapolis May 9th, and I'm going to be in Philly June 2nd. And that's about it.
Dude, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, nice and stoned.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm going to go have some beers and be perfect.
By the way, it feels like
I am capital. I'm not too high. I'm not too low.
That's the nice thing about this. It's the rosin. It tastes
nice
good.
breeze,
it's a nice little high. You're not like fucking
Tank.
like you took 10
Easy
suppositories.
breezy. Well, we'll see about that.
What's the dosage on those?
10 milligrams, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's a small amount to
It
put up
probably
my ass.
smacks up there though, bro. I bet
That's
you. It probably
true.
is different.
Yeah. I like how I'm like, I could use more if I'm gonna put
Is
it
it
up my ass.
minty feeling? Like, is it gonna feel effervescent or something?
I'll put one
Like,
in right now. Thank you so much, ABX. Thank you, Punch Extracts. Thank you, HIFI Hops. Thank you, PUFFCO. Am I forgetting anybody?
Sumo.
Sumo. Thank you, Sumo. I only say that because I'm high, not because I forget. Hey, thank you so much. Happy 420.
Thanks, guys.
Happy 420.